You have found what lights you up. I'm your host, Sunny the Life Coach, and I'm here because I see you searching for something or someone out there to help you feel better. Something to take away the pain that you're feeling, the inadequacies. I know all of the things that happen in life can leave you feeling empty. Your search is over. This podcast is all about finding your own freedom and power to love yourself enough to shine in the ways you were always meant to, the ways in which you are already fully capable of. If you're ready for some real talk, some serious truth bombs, and a few F-bombs, you are in the right place. Let's do this. Let's get lit. Hey there and welcome. I certainly do appreciate you pressing play today, whenever today is for you and wherever you may be right now. Thank you for spending a few of your moments here on Earth School with me. It is such an honor. Before I get into this week's topic, please allow me to share what a hot freaking mess I am right now. I don't even know what's going on. I checked my MoonX app and it says that this week we are experiencing the transition of Venus into Virgo, the full moon in Pisces, and the beginning of Mercury retrograde. Yay! And maybe some of you all listening will understand exactly what that means. I still have to do some astrology consults, but hey, do we always have to know why? Or can we just roll with things just aren't working out right now? When I do check my astrology app, it gives me some great tips and support in setting my intention for the day. And I have to admit that sometimes I check it in the middle of the day to see what in the universe is happening right now that has me sideways. Like I'm just a bull in a china shop this week everywhere I go, everything I do. And to you, my dear listener, who knows when you're hearing this, so what value is it to talk about what the planetary alignment is at this particular time? For this podcast, maybe not so much. I only bring it up because I caught myself kind of backsliding into these old habits of mine, which include trying to seek the answers for why things are happening, why they are not going smoothly, why is my life not unfolding smoothly, or simply my day, or this hour. Does it really matter? It's happening. Acknowledge it. Recognize that you may not be in full alignment with yourself and others. Just to give you a little taste of what I'm talking about, yesterday afternoon I was leaving an appointment and I promptly dropped my glass water bottle on the concrete floor. It shattered everywhere. I got a cut on the palm of my hand trying to pick it up. The owner was like, "Leave it, I'll get it." And I just felt so guilty just walking away from the mess I had made. I truly did. And this morning I was going to pick the boy up for an orthodontist appointment that was probably set a year ago and would have likely taken 5 minutes in the chair just to hear, "Come see us again next year." I was all for it. I talked to him about it this morning when I drove him in pre-dawn for football practice. Yes, that is a thing. Told him the plan to pick him up and bring him straight back. By the way, he's all into school this year. Maybe it's an 8th grade thing. He said, "You're bringing me back, right?" He can't miss anything. Well, we never even made that appointment because as soon as I swung around to park in front of the school, my right front wheel made serious contact with the curb and I heard that whoosh almost immediately. And my heart sank. Yeah. By the time I got out of the car and I walked around to inspect the damage, my rim was literally sitting on the pavement, just a little bit of deflated rubber in between. Ugh. can I be any more of a bull in a china shop right now? I don't know how severe the damage is yet. I know what the initial quote is. I do know that I walked the 2 miles home from the nearest tire place because I was already feeling, well, a little bit unworthy of anyone else's support. You know what I mean here? I didn't want to call King away from his work again when he had just changed out my tire in the middle of the day. Oh, by the way, can I now inconvenience you again for a ride? No, I just hoofed it home. And it was honestly a nice walk because I was forced to be present. I didn't have any headphones on me to listen to a podcast or anything. I tried to play one on speaker, but I couldn't hear a thing over the traffic noise. So I decided to just be present with my walk home and think about what I had done and wonder why and what lessons I'm supposed to be learning from this. I will say this much. One thing that did happen at the tire shop was the guy working the counter said to me in response to me saying this had not been in my plan for today. He said, "And now your day is ruined." And honestly, without even thinking about it, I replied that no, my day isn't ruined. I was actively texting those I had appointments with this afternoon while I was still stranded in front of the school. I had an inkling that I would probably be redirected for the remainder of my day. And I said, no, my day isn't ruined. Actually, it's just taking a different turn than I expected. And I meant that. I mean that. That's probably my lesson today. To just be okay with taking on the role of the bull for a day or 2 or 3, or in my case, could be the ram, since I am an Aries sun sign in astrology language. Who knows how long this will last? Who knows how I may be redirected from my original plans? Who knows who can be available to help when I need it? These are all the things we just don't know. And it isn't useful to get all twisted with our thoughts about the things that happen, how the people around us react, and especially what they think of you. At the highest importance and utmost value is what you think of you. It's not at all useful to get ourselves twisted about what others think. In fact, I think that's a large part of why we are here, why our souls chose to be here. For that highest purpose and highest value is what you think of you. We are constantly met with challenges. How are you going to react? When you mess up, are you going to beat yourself up? Look, I've messed up a few times over the past 24 hours. I dropped that water bottle. I hit that curb. The floor didn't come up to grab the water bottle out of my hands. The curb did not reposition itself in front of my wheels. I did that. I fucked up a few times. Acknowledged. Part of me wonders if today's lesson wasn't about the dude saying, well, obviously now your day is ruined. Actually, no, it isn't. I'm good. I had a nice little stroll back home and contributed to my monthly challenge of mileage. So all good. Not what I had planned, but still all good. Now, I think just sharing this with you plays well into the concept of an unquenchable thirst for validation. And I'm going to tell you why in just a minute. I first want to share with you where I heard this phrase. I don't believe that it is trademarked, of course. It's just that when I am consuming any type of media, shows, movies, podcasts, social, I'm taking notes. I will literally check out for a few seconds with oh, that is really good, and I want to use that in the future, and I will make a quick note on my phone. And that's how I come here and share things that I have learned from whom and from where. Only on this one, my only note is that Ryan Reynolds said it. God, I adore him. He makes me laugh so hard. Based on the timing of the note that I took, I can only guess that it came from his newest show, Welcome to Wrexham, on HBO Max, that King and I have been using to fill the void of Ted Lasso for a bit. And here's the thing, you all. I'm telling you, this is actually a really good docuseries that doesn't spend a whole lot of time on Ryan Reynolds, but more on the fans and the players of Wrexham, which is a failing league these guys are trying to turn around. That's a huge gamble, right? To try to turn around an English football team in a place you've never heard of. It's a gamble, it's a risk, but as a viewer, you're thinking, well, this is Ryan freaking Reynolds. It's Deadpool, you all. He's badass. Yeah. How many of you are thinking of yourselves that way? I can assure you that I'm not thinking of myself that way today. What kind of badass hits a curb so hard she hears the whoosh of the air coming out of the tire immediately through closed windows? God, that sound was so sickening. You know, when you hear that sound, well, that's going to cost me. That's what that sound says. And I honestly cannot recall the context in which Ryan Reynolds said this, but I would be more than willing to venture a guess that it was around his financial investment in taking a leap, right? He's not immune. Just because he's a badass movie star doesn't mean that he doesn't have a stake in the game. And I do think that's the general context in which he was speaking about, an unquenchable thirst for validation. Because if this particular business venture fails, then what will people think? What will future investors think? Will there be any future opportunities? Listen, Ryan Reynolds is going to be okay. He is solid. I'm only bringing him up as an example to demonstrate to you that we all feel these feelings. All of us do. Even those among us who are perceived as being higher value, and I'm using air quotes there. That's all perception. That's why I want you to be sure to be aware I am using air quotes. I think Ryan Reynolds is flipping fantastic. Do I hold him in a higher regard than I do my own neighbors? Not at all. They would come first, I think. I don't know. Maybe I need to give that one a little more thought. What does it mean to have an unquenchable thirst for validation? To me, it starts with being seen in the first place. And we can talk about birth order all day. If you have siblings, I am no expert in this area, but I am pretty sure that there are a lot of us out there seeking validation. Like if you are the eldest and the firstborn for both sides of the family, like me, you may have become accustomed to attention for your first few years of life until someone new comes along. And then she gets all of the attention. And rightly so. That's how it should be. That's how this works. Then the next one comes along and she gets all of the attention. And suddenly the favored baby is thrust into that no man's land of the middle child. And all three of these siblings are seeking validation from their family of origin. All of us are competing to see me. Please see me. And while you're at it, a little praise would be super sweet. man, I know all about seeking validation. Again, I am the eldest child here. I was constantly out to prove to everyone around me that I was worthy. Is there an art contest? Need me to draw a poster for that? I am in. That was like third or fourth grade. Would you like me to learn a dance that I'm completely uncomfortable with doing? I'm in. Where do I sign up? Oh, I get to be a zombie in a thriller recreation? Hell yeah. Let's do those things and let's win it all so that I can be worthy. The spelling bee competition, every talent show, bands, literally everything that I did as a kid was in an effort to be acknowledged and validated. Now, for me, that meant walking across a stage and collecting my trophy or my certificate, and I can assure you of two things right here and now. First, I grew up in the age where everyone did not get a trophy. I got most of them. And second, having all of the trophies was a great hit in the moment, but it didn't serve me long term. How long can I ride the wave of having been the highest honored student in English for 3 straight years when that streak ended when I was 14? How meaningful and valuable are all of those trophies and certificates when it comes down to the life you are creating? I will tell you how meaningful and valuable. My mom held on to those artifacts until, I don't know, 10 years ago-ish, 10, 12-ish. She was cleaning out the attic, preparing to move and downsize, and she was purging and told me she'd been holding this box of my trophies for decades. She had been storing them in her attic, all of them, and there are many. When she asked me if I wanted them, my very first thought was, hell to the no. Thank you for holding them this long. I appreciate that. I truly do. I am honored. And those trophies represent my own unquenchable thirst for validation. So no, I'm good. Let that shit go. Which creates a whole other problem for me on a soul level with contributing to landfills, but what can I do? Either she ditches it all or I do. Either way, it's going to the same place. An unquenchable thirst for validation. I want you to sit with that for a minute, just like I sat with the fact that I had burst my tire this morning, completely burst it like a balloon. I had never heard that sound before, and I was like, no, no. But there's another fact here, and that is one that has been a bit unfamiliar for me in years past. It was just calm. Okay, this just happened. Freaking out is not going to get you any closer to being mobile again, so there's that. Breathe. Get out and look. How bad is it? Oh, it's very bad. It's not drivable. We're done. Okay, breathe again. How can we fix this? And while I was working that out, I was also calling and texting others that, that my day had been, for lack of a better word, redirected. What I really noticed in those moments while I was waiting for King to arrive to swap out my spare tire was that my mind was not racing with excuses or stories like the one I shared on Facebook earlier about the curb just jumping out of me. I did share that on Facebook. So that curb jumped out at me. That's what happened. I didn't do that because I don't feel that unquenchable thirst anymore. I don't need anyone to tell me that it's okay. I don't need anyone to tell me that I did nothing wrong, or that if I did do wrong, that is going to be okay. I don't need any consolation in the moment. I wasn't seeking validation. 10 years ago, I might have had a meltdown. I might have lost it on the woman in Connor's school who suggested maybe I could just patch that tire up. Spray some Fix-A-Flat on it. That'll do the trick. I recognized she was trying. No, my love, when you hear the whoosh, that is not a patch or a can of Fix-A-Flat. My rim is resting on the ground. That is a whole new tire immediately with the quickness. If you still want to be mobile, right? But she tried. I mean, she really was trying. So I just didn't even question. I'm like, oh, yes, great option for something other than what I have. What I really want you to take away from my most fantastic day, and I do unequivocally believe that it has been a fantastic day, despite the hit to our bank account. What I want you to take from this is that you do not need to seek validation from others. In fact, when you do, you are instantly turning over your power. The power that resided in me today was one of cool, calm, and collected nature. Oh, I hit a curb. Fact, that happened. Now, to dig out of this mess, does that mean I'm unworthy? Does that mean I made a mistake? Surely I did. But does that mistake follow me for years or even decades? When we set off on an unquenchable thirst for validation, we are giving our power to others to determine our value. And they may do that with trophies, awards, and accolades. But at the end of the day, what truly matters? As Rumi says, beauty surrounds us, but usually we need to be walking in a garden to know it. I chose this one today because I've been walking in that garden. I saw the beauty of my husband showing up in the midst of a very busy day for him, a very busy work day, and taking care of that tire for me, like really fast, at least to the point of making the vehicle drivable again. I have seen my friends show up for my story, both in person and on social. I have witnessed the grace of others for my bull in a china shop episodes. I seriously value every single one of you who pivoted on a dime throughout the day to reschedule with me. Beauty does indeed surround me in so many ways. I just have to see it. And today, I can assure you that I do. Thank you again for joining me today. If you would like a little more, please join my private Facebook group, What Lights You Up. That link, among many others, including how to schedule one-on-one time with me, if you would like to talk about validation or any other content, you'll find it in the show notes, including current offers. Light up, shine on.